Feminism has established a set of principles for women that advocate for breaking free from traditional gender roles. It encourages women to express themselves in any way they desire, be it in their dress, actions, speech, educational pursuits, or career aspirations. This movement also promotes an outlook that may perceive men as adversaries. However, it's essential to acknowledge that not all women resonate with these principles. Some women genuinely appreciate and value men. They aspire to build families and homes through marriage, and aren't primarily focused on their careers. These women take pride in their ability to create a warm, loving environment for their husbands and children. They aim to avoid a future filled with bitterness, loneliness, regrets, and feline companions. It's noteworthy that these women often find themselves at odds with the mainstream feminist community, as they diverge from the established feminist doctrine, considered a form of ultimate betrayal within leftist circles. For these women, adherence to radical feminism offers little to gain.
A single mom's perspective.
I vividly recall watching the comedian Ali Wong, who humorously expressed her frustration with feminism. She humorously mentioned that she thinks feminism might be the worst thing to happen to women. She quipped that our job as women used to be no job, and that was quite comfortable. We had it so good. We could have possibly continued playing it cool for the next century, right? But then, all of these empowered women came along, boldly declaring, "We can do it, we can do anything," and, well, they seem to have changed the game for us. At first, I was a bit skeptical while watching this, but eventually, Ali Wong convinced me. Of course, we've always known that women are just as capable as men. But is it really wise to let them in on our little secret? Thanks to feminism, I sometimes feel a tinge of guilt when a kind man offers me a seat on the bus. I mean, who wants to stand when there's a comfy seat right there? But there's always that nagging voice in my head, wondering, should I let this guy know that I'm just as capable of standing on a bus as he is? Does he realize that? It makes me question why I even need to bother him with such farts. If we women truly want to do this right, perhaps we should consider keeping quiet, reclining in those seats, and letting the men do the heavy lifting, quite literally. They can handle the work, bring home the bacon, and be our protectors. And what if something goes awry? Do we really want to assume responsibility and take action when we could just as easily cover our mouths, exclaim "I think I'm fainting," and let a man navigate the challenges and drama? Our sisters from generations past had this all figured out. But then feminism came along, tearing down a well-established facade that women had maintained for centuries. Now, let's not mistake this for immorality. Most men genuinely enjoyed doing everything for us. It made them happy. Sure, every now and then, there was a more enlightened individual who might question, "Hey, wait a minute, why do women just stay at home and do nothing? Can't they handle the same work we do?" But those were the exceptions. In my view, it's not too late. We can still mend the consequences of a few decades of feminism and return to the good old days when men did everything for us. That world was better for all of us. Now, I'm a single mother, armed with a master's degree, a career as an architect, and a passport filled with stamps from solo travels. Yes, indeed, I am a glaring victim of feminism.
Feminism today. Contrary to popular belief, there isn't a single, unified feminist movement today. Instead, we have a diverse range of socio-political groups, all adopting the feminist label. However, their beliefs can vary significantly, leading to internal conflicts. For instance, some groups are inclusive, considering transgender women as women, while others maintain that they're men even after gender reassignment surgery. Some factions promote an extremely radical form of feminism, going so far as to advocate for the subjugation or elimination of men. On the other hand, some exhibit an extreme us versus them mentality, ironically making them susceptible to infiltration by imposters or predators. Additionally, certain individual feminists have displayed objectionable behavior. For instance, there's a case of a British politician who laughed at a discussion about the male suicide rate. Most ordinary women, if asked, wouldn't support versions of feminism that endorse such individuals or extreme views. However, since all these groups and individuals lay claim to the label feminist, this often results in mainstream women having an unfavorable view of feminism as a whole. A scenario. Imagine a small gathering of women, diverse in their backgrounds and experiences. Among them is Sarah, a woman who has always treasured traditional values. Sarah values family and dreams of creating a warm and loving home for her future husband and children. For her, marriage is a sacred institution, and her greatest ambition is to nurture a family. As the group discusses various topics, the conversation shifts towards feminism. Several women in the group passionately advocate for the feminist movement's principles. They express their support for challenging traditional gender roles, promoting independence, and pursuing ambitious careers. They emphasize the importance of viewing men as equals rather than adhering to traditional dynamics. Sarah, however, remains silent, feeling increasingly out of place. She wants to embrace traditional roles, become a homemaker, and support her family through love and care. Listening to the discussion, Sarah begins to feel shunned, as if her dreams and desires aren't valid within this feminist space. She understands that the feminist movement advocates for women's freedom of choice, but can't help feeling alienated. She's concerned that the feminist orthodoxy they discuss so passionately disregards women like her. Misandrist movement. The feminist movement is currently facing criticism for being perceived as having turned into a misandrist movement. Traditionally, feminism aimed to challenge and change traditional gender roles. It encouraged women to assert their independence by dressing as they pleased, pursuing various career and educational opportunities, and, in some cases, viewing men with skepticism. However, the belief that feminism as a whole promotes misandry, or a hatred of men, is becoming more prevalent. The contemporary feminist narrative suggests that women should abandon conventional gender roles and have the freedom to make choices about their attire, careers, and personal lives. It's a call for women to go to college, enter the workforce, and build successful careers, even if it means treating men as adversaries. But it's important to note that not all women aspire to this model. In contrast, some women genuinely appreciate the companionship of men. They desire traditional roles, such as getting married and starting families. For these women, their identity isn't tied to a career, but to their ability to create a warm, loving home for their husbands and children. They take pride in these roles and don't envision a life filled with bitterness, loneliness, or a household full of cats. Ironically, women who hold these values sometimes find themselves at odds with the mainstream feminist community. They deviate from the movement's accepted norms and, from a leftist perspective, commit what can be seen as the ultimate apostasy, or abandonment of the established beliefs. Consequently, these women often perceive little benefit from identifying with modern feminism, which they believe has moved away from the principles and values they hold dear. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you can be the first to know when my new video drops. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.